You know, we spend years learning the science, the protocols, the theory, the data analysis, but what about the skills that actually determine whether you thrive or just survive in the lab? I'm talking about the stuff they don't teach you in class, the unspoken rules, the hidden etiquette, all those soft skills that are just absolutely essential. Well, this explainer right here, this is your guide to mastering them.
And this quote? It absolutely nails it. Your intelligence, your grades, your technical skills, that's what gets you in the door. But it's your professionalism, how you act when you think no one's really watching, that's being quietly evaluated all the time, and that's what opens or closes the doors to the best projects, to getting your name on papers, and to those recommendation letters you're gonna need.
So picture this. Everything seems to be going great, but then the vibe in the lab just shifts. Your PI's emails get shorter. The friendly chatter kind of stops when you walk in. You're racking your brain. You didn't contaminate an experiment. You didn't break a machine. So what gives? Chances are you broke something way more subtle, an unspoken rule. And trust me, the consequences are very, very real. These invisible tripwires, they're all part of what's known as the hidden curriculum. So let's dive into the playbook they conveniently forget to give you during orientation.
Now, this isn't just some casual phrase for being polite. The hidden curriculum is a real, recognized phenomenon in professional settings. It's this entire universe of unspoken expectations that exists completely outside the official syllabus. And let me tell you, getting a handle on it is absolutely non-negotiable if you really want to succeed.
Okay, just look at this breakdown. On the left, you've got the explicit curriculum. This is the stuff you pay tuition for, right? Lab techniques, data analysis. But on the right, that's the hidden curriculum. And that's what you end up paying for with your time, your reputation, and sometimes, let's be honest, your sanity. Things like knowing how to handle a conflict over a shared instrument. That's just as critical as running a perfect Western blot.
Which brings us to a super important point. In the lab, your reputation is your currency. It's not some vague, fuzzy idea. It's a tangible asset, and it's built entirely on trust and reliability.
Seriously, think about it. Who gets invited to collaborate on that high-impact paper? Who gets that glowing recommendation letter that lands them their dream job? Who does the PI, the head of the lab, trust with that brand new, super expensive piece of equipment? It's always the person with the strongest reputation in this informal network. This is where those private evaluations really happen.
And here is a perfect, real-world example of that reputation in action. You might think leaving your stuff behind makes you look like this super busy, hardworking scientist. But how is that actually perceived by your colleagues? They don't see busy, they see inconsiderate and unreliable, because now you're blocking a critical piece of equipment that 5 other people needed to use.
Okay, so how do you build a positive reputation? How do you avoid these pitfalls? Let's get right into the insider's playbook with some real actionable rules you can start using today.
The first and maybe the most powerful principle of all is something I call the reset to zero philosophy. The idea is so simple, but it's a total game changer. Every time you use a shared space or a piece of equipment, your one and only goal is to leave it perfectly ready for the next person. Basically, leave it exactly how you would dream of finding it at 2 a.m. when your experiment is crashing. And listen, this isn't about some massive cleanup. It's the small stuff. A quick, courtesy wipe down of your bench. Taking literally 30 seconds to grab a new box of pipette tips from the stockroom when you use the last one. Cleaning your own beaker right away instead of just leaving it in the sink for later. These little acts, they scream respect for everyone else's time.
All right, next up, we need to talk about a problem that haunts pretty much every lab, the Reagent ghost. You know what I'm talking about, that mysterious, unlabeled tube of clear liquid that's been in the back of the freezer since like 2012. Leaving an unlabeled sample isn't just sloppy. It creates what you could call scientific debt. It's a ticking time bomb that forces other people to waste hours, maybe even thousands of dollars trying to figure out what it is, or just giving up and remaking it.
The solution? Make your labels into little informants, not ghosts. A good label is a gift to your colleagues and, believe me, to your future self. It needs 3 things minimum: the date it was made, your initials, and exactly what's inside. A label that just says test? Yeah, that's completely useless to everyone, including you, in 6 months.
Okay, let's tackle the big one, shared equipment. This can be a huge source of friction, especially with the really high-demand machines. Nobody wants to be the bad guy, but we all need to get our work done. The answer isn't a million more rules. It's just proactive, open communication. It's a really simple process. First, just plan your week ahead. Second, communicate.
A quick message on the lab's Slack channel like, "Hey, team, just a heads up, I'll need the qPCR machine all afternoon on Wednesday," can prevent so much drama. And third, respect the schedule. Stick to your time. And hey, if you finish early, let the next person know. It's a small courtesy that makes a huge difference.
But, of course, no matter how professional you are, things are going to go wrong. Experiments fail. Glassware breaks. It happens. How you handle these moments, well, that's the ultimate test of your character.
I absolutely love this quote because it's so real. Mistakes are not a moral failing. They are a normal, inevitable part of doing science. Honestly, the fear of messing up is usually way worse than the mistake itself. The goal isn't to never make a mistake. It's to handle them with integrity when you do.
So here it is, the 3-step protocol for when you screw up. 1. Own it. Immediately. Tell the lab manager or your PI, a cover-up is always worse than the initial mistake. Always. 2. Propose a solution. Don't just show up with a problem, show up with a plan to fix it. This shows you're taking responsibility. And 3. Document everything. Your lab notebook is your professional insurance policy. Noting the error shows transparency and helps you and others avoid it in the future.
And what about when you have a conflict with a lab mate? Please, whatever you do, avoid the dreaded sticky note war. Those passive-aggressive notes and public callouts, they just make everything 10 times worse. The professional way is always to have a direct but private conversation. Focus on the issue, not the person, and always try to assume they had good intentions first.
So let's pull all this together. Mastering these skills isn't just about avoiding trouble or not annoying people. It's about transforming yourself from just another person at the bench into a real leader in the lab. It's basically a career superpower.
All right, get your phone ready because you are definitely going to want to screenshot this. Here is a rapid-fire checklist of the top 5 reputation red flags that can quietly sink a scientist's career.
Are you taking sole credit for work that was a team effort? Do you mysteriously vanish when it's time to do the boring cleanup part of a shared experiment? Do you leave biohazard waste where it shouldn't be? Are you that person blasting music without headphones? Do you treat the sign-up sheet like it's just a friendly suggestion? Uh-oh, these are the things that get noticed, and not in a good way.
And here's the real payoff. When you master this hidden curriculum, you're not just surviving. You are actively building a reputation as a reliable, respectful, and effective scientist. You become the person everyone wants on their project, the person the PI trusts with more responsibility, and the person whose career really takes off.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Every single lab has its own weird quirks and unwritten rules. What's the most confusing or surprising unspoken rule you've had to figure out? Share it in the comments below. By making these hidden rules a little more visible, we can all help each other out. Thanks for tuning in.